And I don't think that a lot of couples could even say that about their spouse on a good day. Do you know what I mean? But I think we have practiced this and we have learned from some pretty tough times and some pretty major fallouts in our relationship. Not fallouts, but like...
Well, because of that conversation, like you're much more empathetic towards me, whereas when I could tell you're struggling, I would be Mr. Fix-It mode. And that's the last thing you need at 6 o'clock in the morning when you're struggling is, and I'm going to should myself, but I should know better. But instead, I'm trying to doing exactly what I just said about the person who would love me in my alcoholic state. I can fix that person. I can fix that person. Whereas, it took me a while. We've had some pretty major arguments due to my approach. And it's all just in an approach.
Absolutely.
Like a simple question, rephrase the question, and all of a sudden you don't have an argument. All of a sudden that person feels supported rather than maybe attacked or just too much. Like, get away from me. Yeah, I am struggling. Thanks for pointing it out.
I've often said, a tremendously huge trigger for me is when you say to me, "What's wrong?"
Yeah.
And sounds like, you can spin that however you want to spin it. You could say, one person might say, "Oh, you asking me what's wrong? You're obviously concerned."
Yeah.
When you say to me, "What's wrong?" I immediately think that I'm doing wrong.
You get defensive.
That I'm doing wrong.
You go
I
into
do.
defensive mode.
Absolutely. Yep. So, of course, my go-to response is always, "Nothing's wrong,"
Yeah, and then that gets me upset because I know something's wrong. So it's like, okay, great. This is how this day is going to go, eh?
Yeah. And certainly if both of our energies happen to be off at the same time, which has happened more times than we can count.
Yeah.
It's like that. Remember in science class and you put vinegar and baking soda together? You hate vinegar. So I'll be the vinegar here and you be the baking soda. But that's what happens. It is an all out eruption. And we're still, 3 years into our relationship, still trying to figure out how to diffuse that bomb sometimes. And that's the part that people don't see. That's the part that we don't talk about.
But you brought it up at the top of the hour is the communication. I find comfort knowing that you and I are always going to talk. And that's why, I don't know. Those episodes don't make me afraid. I just know that we need to have some time, think about what we need to say, think about what we've said, and then I just know that we're going to have that conversation. We're going to keep communicating. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because, again, we've been approached. What do you guys do? And we'll never say we have anything figured out, but the fact is people approach us and say, "You guys seem happy. We're struggling." And it's usually couples, where there's mental health, present. But again, what is mental health? Everybody is dealing with mental health.
Yeah, you don't need a diagnosis.
When you're angry,
take care of your mental health.
Chances are you're probably going to cope in an unwise way, an unwise fashion. So, for me, a huge piece of that puzzle that we're happy. Well, we are happy. I don't need to air quote happy, but not all the time.
Right.
But where everybody thinks that we have it all together and everything is because of communication, I believe. I really appreciate communication with you.
Yeah, I do too.
Babe, I love communication with you.